in the process, the if statement must have a body, and the body must be opened by the opening curly bracket and also closed by an opening curly bracket. It has to be opened by an opening curly bracket and then also closed by an opening a closing curly bracket. This is just the syntax, how it's going to look like. But still you're wondering, how can you come up with a program that actually can implement a single way selection and be able to understand, even explain to your fellow programmers that in C++, this is a single way selection. So we continue to unfold the learning of this. So we want to look at what happens in the single way selection. The if statement is tested. The term evaluation means is the statement or the condition in the if statement is looked at, and the inside the parentheses actually are the brackets. Like give back, this and this is what we call the bracket. Another term is parenthesis. Here, this is where we are going to place the condition to be tested. So testing of the condition of the if is what you call evaluation. That particular statement will be evaluated, and if the test expression is evaluated to be true, if the condition is found to be true, then statement inside the body of the if will be executed. We mean this, the statement that will be inside here. So the control will come inside here, and what will be found in this particular section, this is the body of the if statement, will actually be executed if the condition is true. All right, we are just unfolding that. So if the test condition is false, by that we mean we cannot be able to, the condition has been tested and is not actually conforming to what it was supposed to do, then the flow of the control will not come here. It will definitely go out. It will come out and it will come to the outside the loop, the brackets, the curly bracket of the if statement. So let's proceed. Let's proceed and see how we can come up with a program to enable us understand. So before we say that, we are saying the if statement selection is called a single selection statement because it's called a single selection statement because it selects or ignores a single action. So in short, there is one testing condition and there is one action. One testing condition and one action. That's what we mean in a single selection. And this is achieved by the use of the if statement, whereby it is the if statement, the condition is placed in the brackets, and you test it, and then the condition found to be true, then the flow of the program goes to the body of the if statement. If it's false, then the flow of the program will skip the if statement. So I'm sure still you are wondering, how can we come up with that particular scenario. So let's use this program to be able to understand the meaning. So for example, here we are saying write a program that will check the number entered by a user, and if the number is below 20, the program will print a message that the number you entered is less than 20 alongside the number. So the number will be displayed plus this message. But if the number is found to be not below 20, then this message would not be printed. Otherwise, the number will be displayed without the message. So we want to see how this is achieved. All right. So the first thing what happens actually is that we are going to have the channel include EO stream. Normally, this is our preprocessor directive plus the header that is going to be used for input and output keywords, that's C in and C out. Then we must state where we are finding it using namespace standard. We have to state where we are finding it using namespace standard. Then after that, we open our main function. We open our main function, which is an int main with the normal bracket. And then we'll declare a local variable. Our local variable, which is an integer, so it will be declared as int a with a semicolon. Int a with a semicolon. And then remember, we simply want to use this a as our input. We are declaring it and we are using it, and we are going to actually ask or prompt the user, to enter a value which will be stored in A, and then that value will be compared. And then we now go direct to asking the user to enter the value. So C out, our insertion operators enter the value of A. For example, enter value, and then we take the cursor to the next line. So these insertion operators with the and L are used to take the cursor to the next line. They're used to take the cursor to the next line, and then we use C in to store the number. And this number, which the user enters, is not known, but it will be stored in variable A, which is an integer. Then immediately we start single way selection. This is where now I want you to check. How do we start? We start by inserting, or rather placing or starting the if keyword. The if keyword. And here we are going to say if, we open a bracket, and then now we say, what are we comparing? We are comparing our A. If A that was entered is less than 20, and that is true, if that is true, if that test condition is true, then we go to the body, we open the body of our if statement, then we go inside and do the necessary. In this case, we are just displaying that the A is less than 20, and again, we stop. A is less than 20, and then you can see we are saying C out. A is less than 20, and then again another insertion operator, we end L, and then this particular keyword called system, and then we have a bracket, and then quote, pause, and then again we have another quote, and then close with a bracket with a semicolon, is normally used to actually hold the output on the screen of the computer until somebody can press the key on the keyboard. Sometimes our compilers, some of the compilers normally don't even use it. They actually are able to give you output without putting it. So it's not a must. You can do it with it. Then you close. If A is less than 20 and A was put placed from above here by inputting using the C, if A is less than 20, which is true, then you display the message is less than 20. Otherwise, if A will be more than 20, we don't come inside here. The flow of the program will skip the body and it will come down below the body, and it will just display the number. C out, the value of A is, and then now we use insertion operator connected with this C out, and then we give the variable that we used for entering this particular value, which is A. So we display the number which is more than 20 with the cursor down, and again we allow the user to see the output by system pause, meaning that the output will be on the screen of the computer until somebody can press the keyword or any key on the keyboard. Then finally we return 0, meaning that the program was successively computed, and then after that we close the body of the main function. So in this case, there is only one testing action, and in this if statement, there is only one action if the condition is true. And I believe I'm clear on this explanation. And if not clear, please, I am now opening up the forum for any question so that we can proceed from there. If there's any question on single way selection, before I proceed on this example, can I hear any question? And I hope that I'm clear on my explanation. Any question? Kindly, any question? Okay, I hope I'm clear. Any question? Any question? Any question? If you have a microphone, you can speak to me also. I have no problem. You can speak to me. Yeah, you can type if there's a question. You can just type so that I can be able to get. Yes, Pauline, I can see you're typing. Okay, the meaning of the two poses. All right. No, it's okay. The meaning of the two poses actually they mean that they're used to hold the output on the computer screen for the user to view until somebody presses any key on the keyboard. So the purpose for that is to hold the values on the keyboard or the output on the keyboard until somebody can be able to press a key. Okay, I can also type the answer. Right, so Pauline and the rest actually. Yes, okay. I can see, Doreen, you have asked whether we can use a letter, for instance, int x. That's very right, extremely right. Any letter from A to Z, so long as they are alphabetic, even words can be used as variables. They can be used as variables. So Pauline, I'm also saying that the system pause is used to hold the output on the screen of the computer until a user presses the key to remove it. So the purpose for this is actually to enable the output to be seen by the people who are actually running that particular program. So it's important for you to note that. It's very important. So Doreen, also coming back to you, is that you can also use any word, any letter can be used as a variable. Can be used as a variable, right? Any letter can be used as a variable, regardless of any situation. Letter can be used as a variable regardless of any situation. And letter can be used as a variable or regardless of any situation. And letter can be used as a variable. I believe I'm a bit clear. Mokaya is having a challenge, so I'll check on that. Mokaya cannot hear, so I'm going to check on that one. It's important for you to hear. It's very important for you to hear. All right, I think everything is fine. Mokaya, I think everything is fine. You need to at least hear me. Mokaya. I do believe that Mokaya can listen to me and hear me well. If you can hear, please confirm. Yes, as I was saying before Mokaya came in, is that you can use any variable to actually declare any name or letter to declare a variable. So it's important to know that, very important. You can use any word, and you can actually use, you can use any word for variable declarations. There's no problem on that. I hope I'm clear. So please confirm to me whether you are hearing my voice before I proceed. Can Ahmed and Kelvin, Doreen, Erica, Grace, Matthew, please confirm. We have Neresha, right? Okay, I think, all right, thank you. So I think Richard, Oweno, Nazim, Edwin, yes, okay, thank you. Richard, Vanessa. If you can hear me, I really appreciate. I'll appreciate. Thank you. I think then, Kelvin, you should check your mic to confirm whether you are hearing. Kelvin, check your mic kindly for the purpose of hearing. Now let us look on a serious. Let us look on a serious one that will enable us. That was just the beginning. We want now to go to a serious situation whereby we can be asked to write a program that can be used in the real life situation. So let's see how we are going to come up with this particular situation. We are going to write a program that will compute, a program that is going to compute, a program that can compute amount to be paid as VAT for goods bought in a man shop as follows. So if a buyer goes to a shop and buys item that are costing 25,000 and above, those goods will be taxed, and the tax will be is actually 7.5. Otherwise, if the goods are less than 25,000, there will be no tax on those goods. So there will be no tax. So we want to see how can we come up with a program using a single way selection. In this case, we are talking about the if selection, which we can be able to, which will enable us to compute and come up with a result. So here we have one condition, and the condition is if the amount is above 25,000, then there will be a tax which will be imposed on those amount. And otherwise, if the amount is less than that, there will be no tax. So how can we come up with this particular program? That is the point using the if statement. So I'm going direct to the program for your own understanding so that you can understand it. I'm going direct to the program so that we can look at the program again using the if statement. So the first thing we are going to do, again, as usual in C++, I keep on repeating, or we keep on as programming, when you're learning, we repeat all the keywords, all the code, always. so that our learners can be able to get and be able to understand fully the programming. Now, we are again going to call our pro-processor directive. In this case, we talk about channel include. Then this processor directive is used to actually call in the input-output stream. That's our header. Again, as usual, we link it to the library. Our header file, the input-output stream, will be found in the using namespace standard. In other words, it will be found within the namespace standard. Then we open our main function within our program with the keyword int main. Then after that, we are going to start within our function body. So first we call or we invoke our function, then we open the body of the function. Then in this body, we are going to declare several variables. One is the amount. This is the one that is going to be entered by the cashier or the teller or the person who is actually computing the amount to be paid by the customer in this case. Then we also need to have a second variable, which is also an integer, and we call it tax computed amount. Remember, these are three types of words. And for us to make a meaning, we separate the three words with what we call an underscore. An underscore is mainly used to link together the names to make one name, but in essence, this name makes a one variable identifier. Actually, is collectively taken in as one word. And indeed, we do this so that the name can have a meaning. Otherwise, we can remove the underscores, we join the names together, and we make one word. But proper programming is important for you always to make, use the underscores to make the differences. Use the underscores to make the differences and they communicate well within your program to the users so that they know what you are doing. Then after that, we're going to ask the cashier to enter the amount of the goods amount. Maybe the goods have been selected from the shop, and now the customer is going to pay. So the cashier is going to input the amount. So the amount will be inputted. So after we prompt or ask the cashier to enter using the cout statement, and then we have enter the goods amount. Then we take our cursor down again, and then after taking the cursor downwards, we are going to take the values into the computer memory. So we use the keyword cin, the cin amount, which is declared here. Then immediately we take our amount to the computer memory. We are going to check the amount. So we are checking using the if statement single selection. So we start our if statement by saying if the amount that has been entered is greater or equals to 25, then if that is true, if the condition tested is true, then there must be an action, and that action must be within the body of the if function. So we go inside the body of the if function. So the body of the if function is normally shown by the curly bracket after the if statement. So we have a curly bracket after the if statement. Here we shall have, this is a comment, we are just commenting what's happening. So we are going to compute our tax. So the tax computed amount, actually we computed the tax plus we add into the amount to be paid. So it will be, actually we compute tax computed amount. So we use the variable we declared up here for the computation, and then we use the assignment operator, the equal sign, and say we open a bracket. It will be the amount that has been found or that is going to be paid plus now the tax will be 5%, sorry, 7.5%. So it actually, for us to get this, we simply have the amount, which is 25,000 multiplied by 2.5, then divide by 100. Remember, we are dividing by 100 because we want to say 100 is equals to the entire value. So what about 7.5 so that we can now be able to get the value. Then after getting the value, we are going to display that amount. So we see out and say computed amount plus tax is, so definitely it will be this variable here which we have assigned. So we simply say, using the insertion operator, we put the insertion operator after the statement. And remember, this insertion operator is recognized by this cout. So the cout will still continue displaying. Then it will take the value that has been computed here. It will take the value that has been computed here, and then definitely you'll have the value after the computation. And then again, you take the cursor down, and then you simply hold the output for people to see until somebody will press the key on the keyboard to be able to see the output. And then again, after seeing, we end the body of the if function. So if the condition was false, meaning that if the value was less than 25,000, definitely then there will be no tax on that. So we simply display the value. So we shall come out of this. If the condition was false, then the flow of the program could have come down here and display the value, the amount without tax. Computed tax is, so the value, maybe it was 22,000, will be displayed by the variable amount, and then you will stop that. You stop that amount. Actually, this type error, this is not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be, the keyword is supposed to be amount, because it's the amount we use. This is an error, so kindly note that this is an error. A is not supposed to be there. Then again, we communicate with the system, the operating system, that our program has run successfully, and then we close the main function from above here. We close our main function. So at the end of the day, this program has used only one if statement, and there's only one action in the if statement, and this quantify it to be a single way selection. That marks the end of the explanation. Kindly let me hear any clarification or any other point. If you do not understand, please let me get again from the public chat. You can simply type any question as we proceed, and any question based on this particular example, which I believe is more refined to the normal life situation, and making the meaning of the if statement, and making you understand how program make conditions. Even in our supermarket, there is a lot of selection in those systems that we normally see there. They change and etc. There is always that particular type of scenario. But we shall be looking at it like now, multiple if statements as we proceed. So for now, I don't want to make any assumption. We always say that all programmers must understand what they are learning. So it's a matter of ensuring as the conveyor whether the learners are getting, because we cannot just say that we want to do mass learning, yet at the end of the day our programmers are not getting anything. Very important for us to understand. Remember, I know that you're having another class in a moment, so it's important for me to ask some few questions as we proceed. We know? Yeah, you can go
Yes.
ahead. Yes, you can ask.
No.
Yeah. Oh, I would like you to ask. We know. Don't mute your mic. Kindly, if you can use your mic good and well. Yeah. Or if you can't, then you can type the questions. You can type the questions for a continuation. Kindly type the questions for the continuation. So I would like to hear any question. Kindly. Yeah, you can type any question. And I want to know whether you have understood what we are learning. So it's important for you to to type. If you can unmute your mic and then hear. That also will be very good for us to continue. So should I assume that you've understood? Because if there's no question, I can say that you are very good programmers. Because always we use in a normal scenario, not abnormal. A normal scenario is that any concept in programming must make programmers think, rethink, and even get overnight of it before they actually embrace the idea behind it. So it's important for us to actually to convey. Silence means that you have understood. Can I say that you have understood, all of you? Starting with Matthew, Naresha, Mwangi, Nazim, Owino, Pauline, Richard, Veneza, Naresha, Mwangi, Veneza, Pauline, Nazim, Owino. Kindly, I want you to respond. Kelvin, I'm sure Anne, Doreen, Erica, Grace. I would like to Richard. Kindly respond whether you're okay with that particular example. Please use the public chat. Please use the public chat. Use the public chat to let me know whether you are okay. Yeah, I can see Matthew is typing. Yeah, any question based on? Okay, so it's okay. Thank you, Matthew. So should we proceed? Ahmed, I can see you are typing. All right. Should I proceed? Doreen, I can see you're typing. Owino is also typing. Okay, then I should continue. And that's very good of you. I can see today you are very, very sharp. So you can allow me to proceed to the next. So I don't know whether we have time, because I'm sure you're also heading for another class. We only have 10 minutes. Allow me to proceed allow me to proceed to the next. We talk about two-way selection. Now, in two-way selection, we have we have an additional keyword to if statement. So if statement must be accompanied by the word else. For any selection to be two-way, it has to be accompanied by what we call the else statement. It must be accompanied by the else statement. So let's look at what happens in this case. In this case, we must have we have to have a condition which will be tested. We know. You can see you want to speak. A condition will be tested, and there will be two actions from that condition. One action will be placed within the body of the if statement, and the other action will be placed on the body of the on the body of the else statement. First action will be placed on the if statement, and the second one will be placed on the else statement. So there will be two actions in this case, one on the if, another one on the else statement. Yes, I'm seeing my time is moving on, and I know you are going for another session. So let's look at this example again. We are going to use the same example to unfold this. It's important to note that it will make us understand this concept well as we proceed. So we are also again writing the same program, but now we are going to have two conditions. In other words, the program will check the number and that by the user. If it's below 20, then the program brings a message, the number you entered is less than 20 alongside the number as the first action. Otherwise, if the number entered is above 20, then the program will print the message that the number you entered is actually greater than 20 alongside the number as the second action. The first action will go to the if side, and the second action will go to the else side. So let's see the program, how it's going to be looking at briefly. The program seems to be small. I'll try to make it bigger so that you can be able to view it well. So the first thing is that we are going to have, I want to go direct because of time. You will allow me. I know you have in a few minutes for the next class. I would like to look at this. We enter the value because if I repeat all these are the things that we are doing initially. We have a value, our variable A. Now we ask the user to enter the value. If A is found to be greater than, less than 20, then we have to go to the inside the body of the if statement. So we open the body of the if statement and it says the number you entered, A, is less than 20. We pause for the user to see. We close the body of the if statement. Then else, immediately after closing, we have another now action. The other action must be brought in by else statement. So else is part of the if statement. So else, again, else must have his body. We open the body of the else statement and we say the number you entered is actually greater than, meaning that if it's not less than 20, then it must be greater than 20. Then again, we close the body of the else statement. Finally, we display the number and then we stop for the user to see, and then finally we end our program. So in short, what I would like you to note is that in this double selection or two-way selection, what happens is very simple. We must have if statement, the condition will be tested, and if we found to be true, we must have the body of the if statement, and then we must have the else statement, which will also give an answer if the condition was false, and the else statement must also come with an opening and a closing bracket. So this if as the body, else as the body, and then we display the number, we stop, and then we end. Because of your class, I'm sorry that I came in late, but I was trying to ensure that our learning is taking off well. Next week, we shall have all our time. We start earlier at our normal schedule. We'll continue. And also, I'll be giving you a recap in the afternoon because I really want us to learn more and be able to learn a lot of things from now henceforth. So this time is I'll be using it for recap. So I'm not going to remove it, but still I'll be having you in the morning from 9, and then I'll be proceeding. So for now, since I know you're going for a class or for another session, it's important to stop here. And I believe that today learning was effective and you have really understood. I'll stop here. If there's no another question, so that I can allow you to go for another class, we shall continue learning from another day. I can also be organizing with your class rep. If we have time, we can still have a session. There's no problem. I believe that from my side, I can say that let me stop here so that you can go for another class, and assuming that you have understood what we have learned today. So please let me know from the chat whether you have understood whatever we have learned today. All right? Okay. Hopefully that the session was fine. There was no hiccup. So that I think we are going to proceed like this as time goes by. So can you let me know? And you're typing. All right. I can see Richard, you're typing. Yes. Okay. And hopefully you have seen. All right. All right. I think that's fine. We can stop here for today since you are heading for another class or another session. We'll proceed next week or another time. I will arrange on that. You just leave it to me so that we can continue learning well. So for now, I want to say that thank you for your time. I believe we will proceed as we continue. We are going to proceed well. So from now henceforth, I'm sure our teaching problem has been solved and we are going to be doing very well. I believe that you continue reading the content and prior to our meet so that when we meet next time, we can be able to talk. Richard, you can unmute your mic. You can also talk. You can also talk in this session. Actually, I'll appreciate if you can all of you talk. I really appreciate. So for now, I wish you a good evening. We shall meet next time. Okay. All right. So I believe everything is clear. So if there's no question, I think I'll end the session for now. Then we'll proceed next time when we are going to link. I believe there's no further question. We'll proceed next time. Yes, I can see Pauline, you are typing. Okay, Pauline. All right. Yes. Doreen, Erica, Grace, Naresha, Wino, Nazim, and Veneza. I believe that you're heading for another class. And if there's no another question, I want to wish you a good afternoon. Okay, it's okay, Pauline. I'll add you. I'll take your number right now. There's no problem. Point noted. Thank you and have a good time. Okay, I can see. All right, all of you. I will definitely. The same case applies to Ahmed and Kelvin. I will add you, and then we shall communicate later. Thank you for your time. Have a good afternoon, and bye for now. Thank you, Eric. I can see you are typing also. Kindly let me have. Okay. Okay, Erica. Very well. I've taken point noted. Mm. All right. Thank you, Mr. Wino, Erica, Kelvin, and Ahmed. We shall link next time. No problem. Bye for now. Bye bye. See ya. Okay, bye. I'm ending the session right now. So I hope that we'll meet next time. Okay. All right. Yeah, Erica, we know. Kelvin. Yeah. Yeah, let's meet next time. Bye for now. Thank you. Well done. Okay, thank you.
You are currently the only person in this conference.